Hello, welcome you all. Today we are going to learn the another topic, that is the major group of plants and animals. So why I am saying that it is a major group and what type of classification of plants and animal I am going to talking about the same. We know that in the earlier time we have classified the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes based upon the cellularity. Now, the further division based upon the cellularity, they have classified them itself into the groups based upon the plants and based upon the animals. So, what are the plants and what are the animals? As we know that in different era, different type of species was there. Let us say reptiles was there. Okay. Similarly, if we talk about apes was there. Okay. As well as at last mammals was also there later on, the further development in the current Cenozoic era. So now all of them have some similarity, some similar in terms of let us say about the structural feature, but dissimilar let us say about the some function they are performing. So in that way the major group are classified under certain categories, and certain category have some terms and conditions. So we need to understand those terms and conditions based upon the plants and animal. So let's move. Last universal common ancestor. So it means clearly talking about the prokaryotes, okay, and the eu. So considered a common ancestral cell which include three domains. Earlier we were having that the oldest one was because life arose from the non-living. So life aroses from the non-living. So we can say there was some bacteria who were utilizing the sulfur, H2S, because there was no oxygen, only hydrogen was there. So that's why some of them were very primitive. Some of them, like later on when they developed, so they were like aerobic one. Okay, aerobic means those require the O2 for their process. Okay, so if they are aerobic one, so it means their process is different from the non-living one or the who are utilizing H2S, because based upon the same their proton gradient is decided, okay, and number of electron they releases, okay. So and then eukaryotic. Eukarya means the category involving the other type of eukaryotic organism. Let us say for example the cyanobacteria if we take. Okay, this is the category of eukaryotic and it is multicellular. However, these are also categorized based upon the cellularity, based upon the kingdoms. Okay, so let us discuss the same. Consider the cellular organism. So consider the cellular organism. So that had a lipid bilayer. So what kind of lipid bilayer they are talking about? It is very, very important to understand that what type of lipid bilayer is there, right? So if we are talking the lipid bilayer, we need to understand what are the things that is going to be performed over in the cyanobacteria, right? So let us discuss the same. So if we talk about the lipid bilayer, so we know that in the river, in that particular ocean, the environment was there. Okay, let us say water was there. Okay, and lipid bilayer, suppose if we added protein, a layer is formed around the same. Okay, that is of protein. And when that layer was formed, let us say carbohydrate, that is a lipid bilayer. So in this way, different biomolecules form. In this way, different biomolecules form. So this is very clearly understood that how does the biomolecule form and how the things happen. Now, if we say that yes, these all things were formed like in this manner, then DNA, RNA, protein comes under after gases was there, and gases to biomolecules to macromolecules. So lipid bilayer is surrounding the same and having the glucose, different type of saccharides, carbohydrates. Now this is the 5 kingdom classification system having the Monera. Kingdom name it is there, Monera. We just have learned about the archaea and the bacteria. So bacteria and archaea considered under the Monera one. So this is the Monera one consisting of archaea. So Monera is the father, ancestral, the father, the kingdom that they belong to this home. Now prokaryotes they are. Pro means old, karyon means nucleus. If they are prokaryotes, it means they are unicellular based. Okay, single cell. They differ in genetics. Obviously, their gene pattern or the genetics of these organisms is variable. You can say differences is there. They're lacking membrane bound internal structure. So of course they are not having those membrane covered. Let us say that is called the cell membrane. Let us say this is the cell and around the cell is a membrane form. So there is no cell membrane, they just open because they're something like everything is occurring because they're single cell. They're forming their food with the help of sunlight or by themselves. That includes a cyanobacteria also the category, okay, that is a Monera one. However, cyanobacteria eukaryotic also considered, it is also considered in the category. It's a blue green algae, cyano means blue, but it is the bacteria, so we consider it under the Monera, okay. Now eukaryotes, protists have a membrane bound nucleus. Cyanobacteria is not having a membrane bound, but yes, it is considered under eukaryotic. There are so many junction over the same. Now protista, they are the single celled and more complex. Fungi, multicellular, and they are heterotrophic. One thing is important here, the mode of nutrition of these kingdoms. So whatever the kingdom fungi, so they have heterotrophic. So they depend upon, let us say, more than one mode of food for their, let us say, like if we talk about like their dependence is there, so they depend upon the more than one type of food, okay. Apart from the fungi, we have kingdom plantae. Kingdom plantae is multicellular photosynthetic because they are able to make, they make their food with the help of sunlight, right? So this is the category and the characterization of the kingdom plantae, okay. Now we are having the animalia. So what does this animalia constitute? Animalia is itself clear, they have the holozoic mode of nutrition. However, plant is having autotrophic. They are making their food by themselves. Auto means self, tropic means nutrition. Animalia, multicellular, holozoic. So if we remember the eukaryotic cell formed by endosymbiosis, so if we remember that there was a large cell, I have drawn large cell, and there was a small cell. So when large cell was hungry, so large cell have taken the small cell as their food, and then they both resides together, okay. So whatever the nutrition this small cell having, they were giving to this large cell. So they were a symbiotic friendship among the animalia and the multicellular, so ingest organic. So that's why they were eukaryotic. This small cell was the eukaryotic one. If we see that this one, this was the eukaryotic cell. So that's why inside the same, it was the endosymbiosis theory that is very clearly understood. So this is all about the mode of nutrition, how does the things happening there, as well as for the fungi, heterotrophic, because they are dependent upon more than two mode of nutrition. Let us say mycelium we have heard, okay, different fungi, some fungi let us say in plant, they are very pathogenic and some are not very pathogenic. So let us say in the, like we have in the bread, yeast, okay, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So these all are categories according to their pathogenicity and their mode of nutrition. Now we have plantae, animalia. Plantae is clear already, animalia is also clear. Afterwards, this is the characterization of a different bacteria, archaea and the eukarya. Archaea means old, so they are categorized as gram positive, gram negative. So gram positive means they have lipid bilayer that is thick. And gram negative means they have the lipid bilayer that is thin. So based upon the thin and thick, based upon let us say if they are having the crystal violet, let us say they can retain the crystal violet color, then they are gram positive. Let me write over here. So if we talk about the gram positive, so gram positive is having the thick lipid layer. They are having the